Welcome to the Strategic Project Leader, where we help you leverage strategic project management so you can achieve your goals. Now, here's your host, Fola Alabi.
It's different today. Hello and welcome to the Strategic Project Leader. I am your host, Fola Alabi. I'm a keynote speaker, consultant, and educator. I'm all about helping you transform your life, leveraging strategic project management skills. That's right. Enabled professionals, entrepreneurs leverage, I call the superpowers in strategic management. Today is a special day because we are live from the SBO studio in Calgary, Alberta, but I am bringing an awesome guest from the other side of the world, where it's also home for me. We're going to be talking about something interesting and something deep, but I first of all have to bring up my key producer, a wonderful leader who comes on to support the show every single time. Jay, how are you doing this morning?
I'm very good. How are you, my friend?
Oh my goodness, I am doing awesome. For those who actually join us, let us know in the comments, first of all, you're joining us from. It's going to be awesome this morning. Jay,
Yes,
when we
ma'am.
think about the world and everything that comes with it, there's been a lot of talk around change and globalization, digital transformation, and all of that. Organizations are changing, people need to change. And today's topic is interesting because we want to talk about adapt or become redundant. And we have a great leader who has touched almost everything. Jay,
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
want to know who this person is?
I do. I can't wait.
First off, he's actually dropped everything. He's meant to be, I don't even want to just call locations. He's had to put everything on hold to be in the studio this morning. He's joining us all the way from Europe. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to talk about this guy. First of all, my leader today has managed over $20 billion of global initiatives for the past 25 years, over 2 decades. He was the director of Brightline Initiative. He's actually worked with the United Nations in implementing so many different projects around infrastructure, project management, and above all, he holds a PhD in civil engineering from a university in Brazil all the way. Can you please put a round of applause as I bring on stage a global leader? He has become not just a leader, he's become a friend, he's become family now. Can we get on Ricardo Vargas? Ricardo, how are you doing today?
Hi, Fola. Thank you for the such a nice introduction. I was just reading the names and where people are coming from, so it's just a true pleasure to be able to share this talk and talk a little bit about how do I see and how the future looks like for project management and how we can manage that.
That's right. I know when it comes to project management, just like you are so passionate about the subject. You're all about enabling other people, live a better life, execute better projects as well. And I cannot even wait to dive in. We have people logging in from Singapore, from Europe, from Istanbul. Oh my goodness, I can see you all. Thank you so much for being here. And as you know, Ricardo's time is so precious. So we want to get every single juice out of him. We want to get a needle and get it out of his brain this morning. Let's dive right in. When it comes to globalization and digital transformation, we know that today the global economy is obviously an ecosystem that's undergoing rapid changes due to globalization and digital transformations as well. As a result, we know project professionals must adapt to all of these changes in order to stay relevant and competitive in this market. There's so many things that are actually going on. Ricardo, where exactly are product professionals meant to actually start off?
Yeah, this is a very profound question because what we can see today is such an evolving dynamic. Things are changing like that. What used to take 1 year, it's now taking 1 day maybe, and things are evolving very rapidly. And I think that if I can say about one quality project managers must demonstrate nowadays is the capability of adapting. And why do I say that? It's because if I go back 25 years when I started, project management capability was all about control things and making sure that you control the changes, you in some ways avoid the changes. And today this is just not possible anymore, because you need to embrace, adapt, learn, evolve with this changing environment. And I think these will make our profession and our skills much more valuable for the organizations we work for. But we need to change this mindset from this change and control perspective to a far more adaptive behavior and attitude.
That's a key point. You just spoke about a shift from the mindset that leaders need to also adapt, as well as product professionals as well. However, when we find out that a professional is in a space where organizations are readily adapting as fast as possible, how would you suggest that we can actually get them to say, this changes now? We have to evolve or pretty much die. We look at the world of Nokia, and who would
Yeah.
have thought that Apple, will be the giant a couple of years ago? Because if you didn't have a 3310, you remember those phones? Like you were not it. But things are changing so fast. So I want to know, you said product leaders are going to become more relevant. How can we position ourselves so that we can help organizations be ready for this transformation?
Yeah, I think we need just to understand what is the role of project professionals. Because if we go back again 20 years, 15 years, it was all about, okay, how do you prepare a report? How do you build a schedule? And these, I'm not saying, please, at all, that this is not valid. But today, this piece of everything I said is just, a tiny piece of what project management is about. Project management in the past was all about, okay, deliver on time, on budget, on scope, this triangle and this magic triangle. But today, this triangle is just maybe, I would say, 10% of our work, maybe 15, because all the other is our ability to scan the environment, to scan stakeholders, to understand what is going on, and to adapt and become far more fluid. And this is what we need to do. And this is the change in the mindset. Because if people still think that, I work in a project and it's all about control, delivering on time. And if you don't think about outcomes, just outputs, you may deliver on time something that is just irrelevant for our organization, because things just changed, and this is what we can see today. And all these dynamic that we see, for example, from technology companies today, from all business. So it's how you can adapt that. This is why, for example, on my podcast and everything I do, I try to open the mind of the project manager. And this is why, for example, I am such a big fan. I know some people didn't like of the new the PM Box 7th edition, because it reduced a little bit, this process base, and said, look, if you don't think about this 12 principles, then it will be very hard for you to manage your project. And I think this mindset is what we need to embrace today. And this includes myself, okay? This includes myself, because I am also changing myself, because what I used to do 20 years ago, it's, I would say, quite different. The only commonality is bring ideas to reality. But at that time, 20 years ago, I was much more saying, look, change. How do you avoid change? How do you respect the plan, fulfill the plan? And today, this is not possible anymore.
And this is so awesome, because part of the vision of the Strategic Project Leader Inc., which I actually founded, is all about that. The shift for project managers to move away from just the triple constraints and that focus to become strategic project leaders, not just to create a win for you, which is progress corporately, in the organization, but also provide skill sets that, community obviously needs, the economy needs, one that will enable you, become more successful and apply and amplify your success even at home as well. You have spoken about mindset. A key pillar for me as well is evolving and developing a strategic mindset, strategic thinking. where we look beyond just, what's currently out there. And then you can say, you can actually connect organizational goals, strategic objectives. You can look at the competition. You can look at markets and economics. How exactly, can you help product professionals understand that in developing this, what are the steps they need to take today so they can actually get there?
Yeah, this I will say. Okay, for me, what I do first, I try all the time to leave the project management bubble. And what do I say that? For example, if people ask me, Ricardo, what do you read? Ricardo, what not only books but articles and this. I honestly I don't read just about tools, techniques on project management. But what I do is for example, this week I published my podcast episode about the global risk report. And I started the podcast saying, why do you think I'm talking about that?
I
Because for
listened to that.
you,
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
but for you, if you don't understand what is going on a global scale, you will not understand why your supplier is delaying the delivery of your goods. Because if you are so simplistic on thinking just this narrow, you will never be able to find a creative and strategic solution. And this is leverage. And what is the gift for us, Fola? Is that if we start applying this, we are moving our profession as project managers from this to this. You are moving from this absolutely tactical deliver where someone just send you a paper and say go there and deliver, to a far more strategic value when you say, look, maybe we should take a completely different approach, because to reach out our outcome, as Stuart just commented here, outcome, maybe it's not just through this single output. We can have a different output that will bring the same outcome. But you need to think. For example, this is why, for example, I read different magazines. I read, for example, about technology. I read a lot about geopolitics, trying to understand and trying to make sense of what is happening and how this translates to my project, to the project I'm doing now, regardless if it's an IT. For example, today, this week, I spent a lot of time reading about what's going on with tech firms, because we saw this 50,000 layoffs if you combine these big, giant, ultra rich organizations. And I said, look, I need to make sense of what is going on. Are these companies with lack of money? Are their business? And then when I start realizing that, I can make a bridge to what I'm doing. And then I can make informed and reliable decisions. This is the project management of the future.
That's right. You say it's a pre-environment of the future. I say it's even pre-environment for today. People have been screwing about chat GPT and,
Yeah.
artificial intelligence and all of that. It has been here for such a long time. However, we haven't just embraced it. You think about your role, as you said, 10 years ago, right? What you're doing now is totally different. And it's time for people to start embracing what is here, and it's not going away. It's even going to get even better and better, and then leverage the tools that they have, as you said, technology, knowledge. I call it like the leverage that you have. You have to build the leverage yourself, because you are your career project manager. You have to create the path that you want. Ricardo, you've mentioned the point around learning. I cannot even overemphasize that. Even when you tell people to come and, for podcasts, like they're like, oh gosh, I want to like watch Netflix, it's work. I don't want to do that. But you are one who demonstrates the power of knowledge. Learning is one piece that no one can actually take from you. And being versed, I remember the conversation we had with Pierre Lamore as well. He spoke about the same thing, where he reads and he's so versed. It's beyond just the pre-environment discipline, is right. How does this affect the business? How does it affect other organization and competition as well? I want to take this a step further. I know you've worked for the United Nations and you learned a lot. You met with great people. There's so many people on this line who have that aspiration as well, who have started their career and they're like, how can I chat at that path? I am reading, I'm kind of doing all of these pieces, but how can they take that leap to land that kind of role in the face of all this turbulence?
Yeah, I think first, I think that um, there is no magic recipe. I have two daughters, 23 and 19. And I tell them every single day and say, there is no magic. There is life, a career. It's not the magic. Imagine you building a wall. You build a wall, it's brick by brick. There is no something like, oh, I have the wall ready to, and one step. You need just to understand that, for example, when the UN happened to me, the phone rang. The phone, they called me in my office in Brazil, inviting me. And I, at that moment, I said, what? What is that? But that was the result of a journey of several different things I did, that culminate on raising their interest on having me doing that. And why I'm saying this, because if I can share a single piece of advice to any of you, look, I have 25 years of experience. And, I would say from material terms, I I do what I love and I made money out of that. So I made my living, I raised my children. So I'm very fortunate of doing that. But every single day for me is an opportunity to learn. Just to give you an idea, I even now today I spend around 10% of my annual income and 10% of my time. This is more than a month in a year to learn. To learn means to go to a congress, to go to a conference, to do an online training, to do a certification. Look, I don't have it with me now, but I'm studying because I need to do very soon, probably next week, a certification. So I need to study 200 pages. And I study like my daughters of 19 years. I don't feel that, now, Ricardo, you are comfortable. Then now you just need to surf the wave. Why? Because the wave changes with the wind, with the rain, with everything. So every single wave is a different thing. So you need to prepare yourself. It doesn't matter if you have 20 years of experience or if you have 6 months of experience. You could never feel comfortable because this excess a feeling of comfort zone is absolutely dangerous. It's absolutely dangerous. I think this is my key advice on that, and this is why I'm so passionate. For example, people that follow me on LinkedIn, they say, Ricardo did this, because I truly dedicate time to do that, because I'm studying today chat GTP. I'm studying AI. I'm publishing with Antonio very soon, Antonio Nieto, very soon, an article on HBR about AI in projects. And why? Because I need to be in a constant pace of learning. And this is what we need to think.
I think that's like a key piece that we all need to take away from this is that the mind that grows, the leader that scales, has to have the learning mindset. You have to be open to learn. And apart from that, you also have to be open to unlearn and get feedback. Because a lot of the time, it's like people just feel that, yes, I think there's a certain way to do things. I'm going to just focus on that. But I want us to also think about how can we embrace the learning piece and also unlearn as well as get our teams to, come along. And it's interesting because I was talking to a client very recently who were talking about like data and artificial intelligence. And we spoke about the fact that there's so much information out there, there's so much data out there. However, organizations are still not able to make informed decisions. Why is that happening? And when we dialed back, we found that there's a piece of about authentic leadership that's also missing, where project managers, to your point, are not putting the bricks properly. People are kind of like putting things behind the sidelines, really reporting on what they really need to show. Organizations are really able to learn from the experiences from other projects because they're not fully documenting what should be documented. And when other projects actually kick off, we find that they haven't got the right information to even, go off. So when we're learning, it seems like project teams are learning like half information. So data is there is actually incomplete. And then when projects kick off, it's a case of, okay, we're not really sure where we're actually going. And then that's another failed project over and over again. So as we learn, Ricardo, I want to really get your take around with digitalization and all the information in front of us. We know that with AI now, hopefully, we can obviously get data reported probably faster, more accurately. How can we get PMs to get more comfortable with the fact that this is going to be good for you? Machines are here not to take away your roles, right? But at least now you can make better decisions. You can be more informed. You can gather the right data. And even if things do not go the way you want right now, they're actually going to be lessons. So what has actually been what I call lessons, not really failures, that you have had through the course of your journey? And how have you been able to course correct to take you to where you are today?
Yeah, this is something very tricky, and it's something that we need to understand. I think that the first thing, going even back to what I answered, it's about learning in this, but also it's about being humble about who you are. No matter the success you have today, maybe this success will not drive you uh, in the future. So you need to be humble to be able to say, look, things are changing. I need to adapt myself like anyone else, like absolutely anyone else. So we need to be able to do that and to revisit this. For example, when I saw Chat GTP, and I had the chance to test it. It's something like 3 or 4 days after its release in December. And I presented it in a keynote I did in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. And when I presented it online, I said, I need to write, I did online, and I need to write a report. And then, bam, that report was amazing. But then people said, and what would be our work? And then I said, look, the work of the new project manager is not about preparing reports.
That's
Then
right.
the machine will do that for you. The
Yeah.
machine will collect data and this. What is your role? Take a note on that. It's your ability to do complex thinking, because the complex thinking, and most of them related to human behavior, motivation, power, stakeholder management. All of this are still a good challenge, a true good challenge for Chat GTP. Look, do today, ask a complex question to Chat GTP. Probably the answer you will receive. It's a very well written answer, but is it deep? Is it deep? It's not yet. Maybe it will become. And this is where humans, most of the people that hire me, most of the work that I do is to do that, is to understand what is behind that delay, why things are not working. Why, for example, look, digital transformation. You know what is the worst enemy of digital transformation in any organization? It's not money, it's not technology. Professor Tabrizi wrote a brilliant article on HBR talking that digital transformation is not about technology. It's human behavior. Well, do you
That's
know
right.
why? Because people are
Change.
afraid to lose their jobs.
That's right.
They are afraid, okay, I have this competence. If this competence becomes digital, what I will do? And this is why learning is so important, because maybe what you are doing today uh, will not be what you will do tomorrow. And you need to learn that. And you need to learn that every single day, because when you do that, then you become capable. And then you are doing a service for you, a service for your organization, because you become flexible. What do you need? What do you need? I am adaptable. When I talk to my two daughters every single day, I say, you need to embrace change. And historically and culturally, we are not very good at that. We love stability, we love predictability. And when things change, we don't know how to handle. And this is a big, and this is a change in the mindset. Every single day in the morning when I wake up, I try to reframe my thinking on that, and say, what's going on? What is the trend? For example, Fola, just to give you another example, I spend, I would say, from 30 minutes to an hour every week. Do you know, talking to very different people that have no clue of what I do. I'm talking about people from medicine, people from law, people, my friends that have nothing to do. And I ask them, how do you see this happening? How do you see it? Because most of them, for example, my brother is an anthropologist. I love talking to him. We are absolutely different. Absolutely. But I love to have his insights because it tweaks an area of my learning that I'm not. But do you know one thing, Fola? Everybody loves to talk with people that are like they are connected and they think the same. So you always, and this is the problem of social media. You like A, and then the social media feeds you only with A. And at the end, you don't know how B will look like. So this is why, for example, I love talking with people with different political views, different backgrounds, and then just get, for example, today, this morning, I was having my hair cut, and I was talking to the barber and saying, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Just to have an absolutely different perspective on how does he see things, to help me to see the world not just through my own lens.
That brings us to diversity because now we talk about equity, diversity and inclusion. And a lot of the time it seems to be like a salty spot for some people where they feel, why should I interact with someone that actually doesn't think like me or doesn't look like me? And now we live in a global world today. I'm a global citizen. And being able to be flexible and being able to be adaptive and understanding different cultures is another piece that I believe we need, to actually adapt even more and be prepared for what the future has obviously brought to us today. So how can we actually embrace, you work with different cultures, you're going to be traveling across the globe. How do you bring your knowledge and your learning and easily just plug it in when working in a totally different environment? How have you been able to do that really well and achieve success? Because I know that there's so many people actually struggling. They're immigrants, they move to another country, and now they're like, there's that culture shock. How do you seamlessly do that and do that really well?
Yeah, that I need truly to thanks to my time at the United Nations, because at the UN was an absolutely game changer for me in terms of diversity, because suddenly I was facing, with people on my team. I had people from, if I'm not sure, something like 70 different countries, all backgrounds. And that was so rich for me. And what was my secret? First one, demonstrate curiosity for their cultural aspects. Show this sensitivity to understand how things work in your culture, how things are in your own culture. How is this? Second, show deep respect to those who have a very different cultural background, because there is no right or wrong. At the same time, show your own beliefs. So let me give you a couple of examples, okay? For example, I have friends from pretty much everywhere, okay? All backgrounds. And I respect deeply their faith, their religion, etc. And I want them to respect my faith, my beliefs. For example, if you don't drink and I like to have a glass of wine, okay, you don't drink, I have my glass of wine, and we respect. It's something like live and let live. And we go together in a very respectful way. And when you show this empathy to the other, it's a fantastic, and it's something that it's a whole game changer when you learn this. Because for me, I had so many insights coming from people with very different backgrounds. I need to tell you, my biggest friends, they have an absolutely complete different background. Background from everything in all aspects, because these contribute. Every time I talk to them, I learned something that was not how I was raised. We were talking, I visited 85, 86 different countries, and it's a magic to have the opportunity to go to these places. And what I tell people, please, I'm saying in an absolutely respectful way, you need to travel, but you don't need to travel to places where you know what to expect. You need to travel to places that will bring you a unique experience, that will bring a different dimension. And this is why what I tried. But look, I did many mistakes, and it's very hard to learn with your own mistakes. But please learn, please learn. And now, and I'm learning every single day with my daughters that have a very different view and a different way that they were raised compared with myself.
This is really good because, we talk about curiosity and you think about little kids, right? Where they're always asking questions, they want to know more. And when you look at how psychologically and the way the brain actually works, right? They are developing, they're actually learning, they're forming their thoughts and everything. And curiosity is a piece that I feel that at times people kind of feel, if I ask that question or something, I may just say the wrong thing. Or, if I, do this a particular way, maybe my leadership team might feel that I'm actually a bit, not silly or not as knowledgeable. I believe building relationships is another piece that ties back to that because a lot of the time when you get comfortable in a space, you can let your head down a little bit and say, oh, yes, I'm trying to manage this and maybe this is my challenge. I want to learn a little bit more about this. You have built relationships across the globe. And relationship management is a skill that is priceless, not even for project managers, but every leader and every individual. How have you been able to build, lasting relationships and do that so easily?
Yeah, I think that people think many times that relationship, it's I recorded a video about that, and I'm just remembering, is that all about asking, and asking, and offering. And for me, for example, one of the best ways for me to get help, that people value the relationship with me, it's not by asking, but by giving. By giving. So
That's right.
every time, for example, why in this Saturday, I'm just taking a look at the clock, Saturday, 4 p.m. my time, you know I could be with my family, and I'm here now.
That's right.
Why I'm doing this and why I'm talking about what I think? Because it's important, because maybe one of the people that maybe I can trigger on them and say, God, I need to rethink. Because someone, I think, oh, my life is miserable. Don't like this. And then you see a different perspective. And by doing that, I am creating and fostering a relation. Look, you have no idea of how many messages I receive from people offering things to me, sending, Ricardo, you did this, you helped me so much. Now I want just to share with you. I did that. Thank you very much. And these is more, life is not only about making money, success. Life is about fulfilling. And me, I have a very strong feeling about life. It's that, I want to have a net positive of my life. Means what I extract from the planet is smaller than what I give back. Because I don't want to be someone that just suck everything. I'm not talking network, but everything without giving back. And by doing this, I am creating relationships. When I need something, everybody wants to help. Everybody wants to help. This is the way, because what I see today, Fola, is that there is a very problematic situation today is that many people, they just want to suck. They just reach out to you. Fola, I want to do this. Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? And then I say, what can you do?
Exactly, right?
And this is something. Look what happened on this call. People don't know, but you invited me quite a while ago, and I said, look, I'm busy. I cannot do. And then she wrote to me a message, happy 2023. And then I replied, this is true. I replied to her and say, Fola, I am in that with you. I
That's
need to
right.
find a time. And I suggested, let's do it now, because before I start traveling, because I'm going to Dubai on Monday, before I start traveling. And why? Because it's important for you, for the community, and I cannot forget.
That's
I
right.
cannot forget, because otherwise you think, who is Ricardo? Why Ricardo? For example, I reply every single message that is sent to me. I'm not saying it's not my secretary. If you write to me, I answer, even if it's a half line answer, but
But
it's
it's
not
gonna
any.
come from
It's just,
you.
yeah, I
Exactly.
will say sorry, I cannot do. Done. But why? Because it's respectful to those who send. To those who send, and this is how you build relationship. This
That's
is
right.
how you build.
That's
Yeah.
right. And I want to send the signal out there as well for a lot of people obviously watching this. Ricardo just said something really great. And we launching this podcast just a couple of months ago. It's a case that a lot of people obviously took a chance on me. I have been in the industry for 18 years because I got my first project management role for the Department for Transport actually 18 and a half years ago. However, I decided to start the podcast to give back, so to actually get leaders like yourself to come in and share their knowledge and experience. But for some people, they're like, oh, no, 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 I think you're not as famous as I want, kind of thing. But, leaders who show up and say, it doesn't matter. I want to give. I want to give back. And that's the trait. And that's what it's actually dear to my heart. And this is exactly what we need in practical terms today, because a lot of people actually talk the talk, they never walk the walk. And that's why I know that without a doubt, you're going to be successful. You're already a success, but this is just the beginning. Leaders who give, it's gonna come back in so many ways, in so many shape and forms. And so when it comes to looking at the future, even for you now, I want you all to develop that mindset, not just to learn but also give support, not because the person thinks like you or the person has something to give you back, but keep on supporting because the community, people are actually watching. Ricardo has said he wants to give back, so by the time he's gone, like many years away from now, we can say, goodness, he was transformational. And that's what really really matters. I wanted to take a slightly different tone just to appreciate you, but I feel that a lot of people have challenges, especially in the workplace, when it comes to managing up. Mid-level professionals say, now I know that, yes, I'm meant to be doing all this. However, maybe my leader doesn't really understand, why I need to be doing things a certain way. So managing up is a challenge. I share a lot of strategies around, sense sharing value and doing that. But how have you been able to like transform and turn ideas of like senior leadership to get on board with your ideas?
Yeah, this is also something super important. I think that the best you can do that is, of course, being respectful with, I would say, who it's not, oh, my role is just to challenge him or her, not at all, but that he or she sees you as someone that is supported, that is authentic, that is honest. Many look, but I'm saying many times, my deputy at the United Nations, that is Tairu Hassan, and my deputy, that he became my deputy at Brightline, he said things, Ricardo, I disagree with you. But what was the way he said this to me? He didn't say this to me to make me smaller or to challenge because he wanted my place, but he made because we are together on the same boat. If the hole is here or here, it doesn't matter. The boat will sink if you are not together. It's this concept of respectful, and I would say respectfully disagree. And this requires one thing, that that you need to underline on everything. It's the concept of psychological safety. People need to feel safe on doing that. And sometimes your leader, your boss, is not that. And this becomes a true challenge because he or she may see you as a challenger, as someone, but you need, I would say, in the best positive way, to give your contribution. If you don't see this happening, I have just one suggestion to you from my heart. Uh, Look for another job. And I know this is brutal what I'm saying, but life is too short for you to to spend working with something you don't love. And I'm not saying that you should be irresponsible. I'm not saying, okay, now I'll be jobless. Just no. But you say, look, it will not go here because the cultural aspect of this company does not fit on who I am. And my final thought, never forget, when you become the boss, don't do the same, do differently. Because one day, the president of the country will be one of us. One day, the CEO of the company will be one of us. One day, the boss, you will be the boss. And when this time arrives, do not forget everything you learn and say, I will be the same as my boss, because people change. It's so interesting. People go up and then they just get in some ways contaminated by that, by this power, and then they
Right.
just stop listening. And don't do that. Don't. And this is why, for example, I love working with people that give me honest feedback, even knowing that sometimes it hurts. Of course, it hurts, but it's what makes you move forward.
We have done it again. It's time for Project Lifestyle. When it comes to project execution, transformation, and everything else, I talk about project management principle being applied even to our everyday life. How can we take all of these ideas today and how can we improve and amplify our success? Is exactly what we need as individuals, as leaders, as parents. We spoke about having a learning mindset. We spoke about ensuring that you're adapting to technology. We spoke about areas around planning, areas around building relationships. I want to challenge you this morning, depending on where you're watching me from. How are you applying these ideas even to your personal life? Because at the end of the day, it's just one life. People talk about work, people talk about your personal life, but it's one life you have to live. How are you ensuring that you're learning steps and things you need, be it financial, be it stuff that you need around your kids? How are you ensuring that you're putting together a plan that you can leverage that can help you become a better mom, become a better dad, become a better aunt, and become a better person in the community? I want to challenge you. I want you to take a step back today and do a self assessment. I want you to look at your current state. I want you to assess what are the things that I'm actually really good at? What are the things that I think I need to work on? What threats do I see? What opportunities can I actually leverage? And look at that holistically, bringing your work life, bringing your personal pieces together, and create a plan on how you're going to bridge those gaps. Because at the end of the day, it's not about just having a resolution. It's not about just saying it's January now, I want to do X, Y, Z, but creating an actionable plan. A plan that you can execute with little manageable steps, step by steps as to what you're going to be doing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. But what is going to set you apart is being more inclusive. For those who are actually married, bring your spouse into the picture. Have this conversation. Talk to your kids. Let them know what the vision is. And then work together with a strategic focus to ensure that you will have a plan to achieve it. Because at the end of the day, I believe it always takes a village. Go away from the mindset of me and make it we. And that's the way you can begin to not just be successful, but amplify that success. Ricardo, what's your take on Project Being a Lifestyle?
Oh God, this is. I think you are giving me a gift to be able to talk about that, because truly, I apply project management in my personal life since ever. I need ever when I say it's a long, long time, because the way you use project management to do a digital transformation, you can do in your small scale and do it yourself. So what I did when you said to me that you want this, what I will show you, it's true. Okay, it's not fake. This it's look, every 2 to 3 years I have a strategic map. Okay, this is my strategic map. This is real. Look, keep physical and mental health. Okay,
Good.
this is I'm saying this is true. Okay, this is true. And then what I want here, it's a sure quality of life. And then I define what is quality of life for me, because maybe for me it's different from you. And then I have the indicators and all of this. And then this is my, I would say, my path. And this formula is not Ricardo professional or Ricardo. No, no, this is Ricardo. And then what I do every year, this is real, okay? Every year, don't be afraid when you see this, but every year I do something like this. Okay, this is a copy. I use post-it notes. Every color means a different group of ideas, and I do effort and benefit, and I map effort and benefit. So things that take a lot of effort to do and a lot of benefit, a low effort, low benefit, and I do this to define. And then you saw all these in with the red dot here means I'm not doing because it's a low benefit and a lot of effort. Means it's don't spend your time on that. It's worthless. And this is my plan. This is an actual plan. And let me just read out of curiosity for you. This is the visit to Azores, the island in Portugal. And this is do my health checkup. Just to show you something. This is a routine of handyman, because I love doing handyman work. You know this. You know, put the
Nice.
frame in the wall, and look. Hold on. Look, this is I said, but this is my podcast. It's here. My a new course I'm releasing. This blue here. Oh, sorry, it's here. So what I'm telling you, and these each post-it is a project, and this is my portfolio. This is 44 different projects with different efforts. Of course, these are the hard ones, and the high benefits, and these are the hard ones. These are the most complex ones that I'm doing, and every single of them, I use a GTD, that is a Dave Allen method, getting things done. I have an action list and say, what do I need to do this week? What do I need to do next week? What do I need to do this? And I practice project management in my daily life. So every week I do my weekly review, saying, I'm late on this. I'm good on this. I need to spend time on this. The certification I said to you, I will do next week is this. Every single thing I'm doing, it's connected to one different post-it. And I do that. Why? First, how you need to walk the walk. You need to, imagine, look, if you have problem, you smoke, and then you go to a doctor, and the doctor is smoking and tell you should stop smoking.
That's
We need
right.
to be an example. So of course it's impossible here to show you, but my office is pretty much organized. I don't do things twice. It's everything. You saw with me. I said, look, we have the WhatsApp and this. I will be on time, and there is
That's right.
no issue. That's done. Because I don't do things twice, because I don't have the luxury of wasting my time. And then I have everything, and every week. And this is a process that worked for me. I'm not saying it will work for everyone, but I use project management. So for me, I have personal deadlines too. I have my personal deadline. For example, with COVID, I lost uh, 25 pounds or 15 kilos of weight. Why? Because remember that health objective?
It was
It
there.
was terrible. It was terrible. I said, look, if I don't sort this out, then it became strategic. This is when I put this kind of box, the white box means strategic.
Yeah.
Then I create a project. And you know what I did? I said, I love Netflix. I watch what you can only watch Netflix on the treadmill. This was my and then what I did, you want to watch Netflix? Go to the treadmill, and that's perfect. And what you do, and over time you transform this in a habit. For example, I know for people that are not, how do you want to be a project manager if your desk is a mess, if your mind is a mess? How do you think you can go to your company or to your client if you're a consultant, propose, look, most of the time, do you know, people come with a lot of papers and say, look, I'm stuck. I cannot transform this into reality. And what do? We go there and say, look, for you to go into the reality, you do this first, and then you do that, and
That's
then you
right.
connect these two. And then, but when you connect, there is this risk. Be mindful, do that. We need to have the, but if it's all a mess, how do you plan to manage that? And this is just, I'm saying, a different example of that. And for me, I'm so grateful, and not only on the professional side to project management, but also in the personal side, because I think this way. And for me, it's natural, follow. It's just natural. I don't, when you talk to me, for example, this talk with you was a project. Did you see? I had to prepare this paper before we talk, right? Imagine if I come to you, because when we did the small briefing, you said to me, and I said, look, I will print. Now you see.
That's
Why?
right.
Because I put this on my project, because otherwise I would not remember.
That's
So
right. It's all
that's
about
how you can
planning.
use it. Yeah.
That's right. Goodness, it's just been so great to have you today. I know we definitely want to bring you back. There's so many comments and so many questions, but I want to leave everyone with this lesson. So Ricardo has hit so many points. You've got so many things to go think about and work on. Think about your mindset. Think about the shift you need to create. That will create not just success in your work life, but also in life as a whole. Be humble, learn and unlearn. I want you to also stay informed. That is actually key to every technology. Think about your digital skills. Ricardo spoke about how, he was just inside chat GPT, learn about that as well. Having that mindset and leveraging technology is another piece when you think about embrace agility, leverage technology, build a global network, be adaptive, and continuously learn. Apart from that, learn how to embrace different methods of working. My goodness, what are your final words for us, Ricardo? It's been so great to have you. I know what exactly you want to leave. I know I just summed it all up, but I know there's anything else you want to just drop to leave us with to
It's
think
so
about.
it's so fantastic to talk to you, because we both are very passionate about what we do. But I love your words. But I think that the uh, what I would say to all of you, it's don't see the current environment, the current volatility, as just a pack of, I would say, negative, threatful environment. Because, of course, it's a natural human behavior. Because maybe it's opening a whole new chapter for your career and your life if you are open to see that. If you are open to see this window of opportunity, don't get stuck in the past and how, I did this for 20 years this way and now it's different. Now I'm against. Don't be. Embrace that as part of your life. Learn all the time, learn all the time. And one final thing that it's for me so critical, when you have the chance, help the others. And this is what is so important, because you know we are all together. We need to help each other. We need to help. So don't be selfish on taking things, or just for you. Help as much as you can For example, the young project manager, your intern that is just starting and had no clue, sit with him, with her, and help him or her to drive this process. And this is what really matter for all of us. At the end, this is what we take from life.
That's right. I want to challenge every one of you to just take that leap. It is possible. It's all about you. I want to say thank you so much, Ricardo. Where can
Thank
people
you.
actually
Thank you.
find you?
Yeah,
So,
look, I would say I'm pretty much everywhere. So I'm saying on social media, I'm on LinkedIn. I just want already to apologize because I don't have a single one connection on LinkedIn available, and I have thousands of people on the waiting. So what I decided is that you can follow me. I will publish. My network is completely open, so everybody will see what I post. And if you like, you like, and if you don't like, you just stop following. And that's no issue on that. I have a YouTube channel. You were just showing this. I would say, if you want to find more of who I am, I'm saying as a person, not as a professional. I'm not here to try to sell anything to any of you. Okay, zero. Okay, what I want is go on YouTube and watch a series that I did mainly for my daughters called What Matters, and it's a lot about what we are talking. We are talking about the passion. We are talking about options, and I did that to help my two daughters. But my two daughters were so fortunate of being raised in a family that love them, that embrace them, that give love and care. Unfortunately, not everybody had this chance. So I recorded this for exactly these people, those who were not able to have the lucky that I had with my parents, that you had, Fola, as you said, and my kid. So watch that. And this is an absolutely free. There is nothing. You just go there because I have a lot of messages about how you can do things, you can make money, and you can help. And I'm not saying they do not contradict themselves. They complement each other.
goodness, we have done it again. Thank you so much. As Ricardo has said, we actually had his handle for YouTube on the screen, so you could go find him, follow. There's so much information you don't even want to know. Now you don't even need to go to university. There's just so much out there. Ricardo puts in time to create content regularly. You need to tap in there and make sure you don't just listen. Put a comment. Let him know that you've actually watched it, and let him know you actually on this podcast as well, because there are going to be some interesting freebies and stuff that will be coming through after this. Thank you so much. And as I always say, when you have a great idea, you don't keep it to yourself. You need to let someone know. If you found any value in today's conversation, I say share with a friend, share with your colleagues, and even with your boss, because he probably might just need, or she may need to just watch this as well and create the change you want to see. Thank you very much. And for those who obviously want to know about me, you can go to followalibi.com. I'm always here to help you create the best career and the best life you've always craved for. Next week, same time, you don't want to miss this because we have another powerful guest who's going to be coming to share around the PMO and how you can post and move over the PMO chasm. You don't want to miss this. At the same time, Saturday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also want to bring up my producer. Thank you so much, Jay, for being here. You cannot just go without being noticed. Jay, what can we say? We just did it again. Any final thoughts, final words for us before we go? I know he never wants to talk or say anything, but you can find it on jfranzi.com first of all. But Jay, tell us a little bit about you. Exactly.
Well, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me here again. I learned an awful lot tonight. It was a pleasure. And if anybody would like to contact me or reach out, please do so over at jfranzi.com.
Fantastic. Thank you once again. Thank you so much, Ricardo. Safe
Thank
journeys in
you.
all your travels. And remember, I said I'm going to be off. Come pack up all your suitcases for you. So I'm going to take you around the world as well. Safe
Thank you.
travels. Great to have you. Love to your family. And for everyone watching, I always say, remember, you are your life's project manager and you are the best project you can ever work on. So work on it every single day and begin to live the life you've always craved for. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.